Okay, welcome back everybody to the Dream Whisper of Jesus, where we discuss and interpret prophetic dreams. No prophetic dreams today. I thought I'd just discuss South African politics. It's 10 weeks to the South African election, so I just thought I'd give my 2 cents worth of opinion on what's happening in South Africa. As many people would know, there's lots of excellent material on YouTube. I was just listening to a speech on the Biz News YouTube channel by Dr. Franz Cronje, so that was really interesting, really excellent. So I thought I'd just give my 2 cents opinions worth, because in that YouTube video, Dr. Franz Cronje was basically reassuring the South African polity that South Africa's institutions are working and it's going to remain a democracy. So I think that's true, that's the most likely outcome, but I'll just put a few of my own thoughts. So some of you might have heard of this term before. It's sort of basically used in American politics. It's quite sinister, lawfare. Rather than warfare, you have lawfare. So basically the Democrat Party, how can I put it? The Democrat Party really fears President Trump, so they basically just keep him in court all the time as one means of undermining him and creating a toxic media environment about him. So what we've seen in South African politics in the last few weeks or months is basically the ANC adopting the same kind of strategy in South Africa. So when a political party's losing power or trying to gain power, there's the option of a coup. But to do a coup, you need 2 things. You need legitimacy, but the ANC has lost its legitimacy, so its opinion polling, it's below 50%, and so it's, if for example, if Cyril Ramaphosa called the South African Defence Force and said, I'd like to do a coup and can you help me? Basically the South African Defence Force would say no, because you've lost legitimacy and we don't want to be unpopular with the South African public. And also the other second thing the South African Defence Force would consider in that decision is you need a strong military, but for the last 30 years the South African Defence Force has been chronically underinvested, so it's basically, it doesn't have the muscle power to conduct a coup and suppress armed revolt, if you like, in South Africa. There's an excellent website, the World Bank, which discusses all the world's military funding for all the world's militaries, but the South African Defence Force funding slumped to 0.7% of GDP, and as a proportion of government expenditure it slumped to 2.2%. So I'll provide a link for that in the description box. But the South African Defence Force doesn't have the muscle power to conduct a coup and suppress the South African public, and at the same time the ANC doesn't have the legitimacy to convince the South African Defence Force to do that. So what you end up with is this lawfare situation. So basically the ANC is trying to use every trick in the book to undermine its political opponents so it can stay in power. So it's very much similar to the American political system. It's a sad reflection on American politics, but that's how America is governed today. And so it'll be interesting to see whether this lawfare strategy of the ANC will work in South Africa. But to do that, you need the South African judiciary to back the ANC, and probably over the next 2-3 months you'll probably see the South African judiciary get cold feet, that they just see that the ANC is single party rules basically coming to an end, and they'll probably not support the ANC in its efforts to try and use lawfare as a governance strategy. But we'll have to wait and see, but that's my 2 cents opinion worth. So probably on 30th of May 2024 we'll have a major change in South African politics as the votes come in, where you transition from single party rule to multi-party rule. So yeah, it's an important time to pray for South Africa. So once I press stop on this video, I'm gonna bow my head and just pray for South Africa, just for peace and for righteousness, for God's will to be done in the country, because it's obviously the most important vote in 30 years for South Africa. Okay, God bless you everyone, and especially God bless you all my brothers and sisters in Christ in South Africa. Bye bye.